In this video, we'll go over how to enable hover states like these to add another dimension to your microapps, specifically when you're starting from PowerPoint. Certain templates like this one might already have multiple button versions or states ready to go for you. However, even for an existing PowerPoint that you have, you can follow this process and it'll work the exact same way. Just like scrolls and galleries, the elements that you want to set up with hovers need to be brought into tiled as individual assets. You'll first want to make sure that the elements are grouped together. In this case, the text and rectangle and arrow icon, they are grouped. If they weren't, you can just hold shift to select the elements and right click to group them together. Since these are already grouped, I'll simply right click and save this as a picture. Once you've gone through and saved all of your default button states, you'll go ahead and do the same thing with all of your hover button states as well. Right click, save as picture. Now we can bring our button assets into the tiled assets panel down here in the bottom right, and then we can start configuring this. Now you could have elected to remove the buttons from the page that was imported from your PowerPoint or PDF. I opted to leave them in here just as a guide or a placeholder for where I'm going to place these individual image tiles or image assets. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to drag our image tile over and start to get this configured. Now all we need to do is drag the asset in, and from here we have our default asset set. Now all we need to do is click hover, and we're going to configure the secondary asset that's going to show up. There are also a couple different settings if you want to have a subtle transition, ease in, ease out. You can also adjust the scale as well if you want to have it enlarge or shrink. You can adjust that. But as we look there, now we can see anybody hovers over, we're swapping out one asset for another and adding a little bit of interaction to it as well. The last important piece to note is that we have our hover configured. If we go ahead and drag a hotspot over the top of it and link our page there, it's going to block that hover interaction. There's going to be a layer on top of it. So all that you'll need to do is, instead of using a hotspot as you usually would, you'll use our click state for this image asset. And this is going to serve as your hotspot to say, hey, instead of clicking and going full screen, we're going to click and go to the target of this page.